Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sistas review. This is season 5, episode 2, entitled My Boyfriend's Back. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, you already know what it is, what it always will be. So, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if that's what you choose to do. If not, just sit back, relax, and we gonna get into this thing. Now, before I start off, let me just say, normally I say the normal cuss words like ass, damn, hell, those three in particular. You will hear the S word when I start talking about Karen. I'm just gonna put that out there. That's my warning. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna start with Danny and Preston. Let me just go on record and say that Preston is an F boy. Okay, Preston is an F boy. Danny said what I believe many of us were thinking, at least I was last episode. Preston has never mentioned this longtime girlfriend that he has, and now all of a sudden there's someone else in his life that Danny was not privy to. Then he says, well, I'm telling you now. Like, I'm telling you about her now. And I was like, what? Sir, miss me with that. Preston can miss me with that. He can skip his country ass back onto wherever he comes from, because I'm like, you know what? Now, in addition to accepting Zach's horrible advice, you're now trying to manipulate Danny by giving her the responsibility of making your decisions for you. Well, if you don't want me to marry her, you're going to have to tell me that you want me. You're going to have to tell me, Danny, that I'm the one. Stop it. I was like, Danny, be strong, sis. Be strong. Now, like I said in the previous review, I have not always been a fan of how Danny has treated Preston or how she has gone about their relationship. But now finding out this information that you have this longtime girlfriend that you're just going to propose to. And obviously, this is someone who is still in Preston's life. This is someone who he obviously still has communication with. So Preston can miss me. Like, he lost all kind of cool points with me with this. So then we get to the gentleman from last week, him and his wife. You know, he feels like he's stuck with her. And he get I'm laughing because he gives Danny his number so that they can hang out sometime. I said, well, excuse me, you're married. I'm going to go ahead and assume that every married couple on Sistas, every married person cheats, because I'm trying to figure out, in what world do married men just give out? I know this happens a lot, but I'm just saying, married men just give out their number to single women so that they can hang out. I'm like, Tyler has a really horrible view of marriage. That's just how I got to take it, because I'm like, what is this? We hanging out with single women for what? You could tell he's attracted to Danny. You know, he feeling her. And let me just give you my number. We can hang out sometime. I was like, what? Danny, don't get caught up with this married man, okay? I'm tired of that. Find somebody single. Find somebody single. You in Atlanta. They everywhere. So we get to Pam, Karen, and Miss Lisa. So, okay. Karen asked Pam if she called anyone. And at the time, Pam tells her that she has not. And it was a really cute moment. Because, well, before I get to that, Pam tells Miss Lisa the tea. She tells her everything. Then she ends it with, well, I don't be telling nobody business. I'm like, Pam, yes, the hell you do. You've been doing good, but still, you still spilled everything to Lisa. And I get it. That's Karen's mom, and she's been out of the loop ever since, you know what I'm saying, she dropped off Bean, I can't remember her name, but Aaron's ex-wife brother off at the funeral. You know what I'm saying? It was just a jacked up story. But anyway, Miss Lisa been MIA for a while, so she's not all the way caught up on what's been going on in her daughter's life. So Pam spills everything, not missing a drop. I thought it was a really cute moment on Pam's side. Pam tells Karen that she loves her, which I thought was extremely sweet and timely, because I don't think Karen really hears that word too much. And it was genuine. Even though Pam could be messy, I do believe that Pam is a genuine friend to Karen. And in Tyler Perry fashion, it was written for Karen not to say it back, which I thought was trifling as hell. Pam, can you call? Like, she wanted Pam to call Zach to let him know, you know what I'm saying, what was going on. Aaron was not included in that, but we'll get to that a little bit later. And I do like the fact that we are starting to see a more vulnerable side of Pam, even though she's still messy, even though she's still nosy ass Pam in my book always. I'm loving the fact that we're kind of seeing a different layer to her character. And it's like the first episode of this season, Pam tells Karen that she admires her. This episode, she tells Karen that she loves her. And I'm just like, I just don't feel like Karen always reciprocates emotions. And at some point, you just got to take responsibility for that. And you just can't stand behind the fact that that's just who you are. So Pam calls Zach, and she tells him that Karen is in the hospital, and Zach just does what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I guess I feel like Zach, I understand both sides. I understand the fact that he does not know if the baby is his. We know that it's between him and Aaron. At the same time, I'm like, Zach, you a baller, shot caller, you got money. Pay them little $1,500 or however much. I think it's like $1,500. Don't ask me how I know. I'm just saying. I think it's like $1,500 to get a paternity test before the baby is born. You know what I'm saying? There are ways you can go about it, finding out the paternity before the baby gets here, so you know whether or not that's your child. Him and Aaron have money, so they can both find out whether or not this child is theirs. And I just hate the fact that this particular storyline is getting dragged out, because at this point, I don't really believe many people have an interest in it. I know a lot of people just don't want it to be Zach's. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. But it's like the interest of this, it just has been drawn out for so long. I don't really believe the concern is actually there from the fan base like that anymore. It's like, it's typical, it's been drawn out, and we honestly really don't give a damn at this point. So, you know what I'm saying? Fatima, they find out that, Karen's in the hospital. Zach tells Fatima, he was like, she feels he should go. They was in having their date night. They were having a good time, and then here comes the drama with, with Karen. And I think with Fatima, she went through so many like different types of emotions. She felt like Zach should have some concern for Karen. Something could really be going on. Then we get to the infamous phone call when Karen calls Fatima or calls Zach, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So Andy and Gary, okay, annoying as hell. That's going to be their name from this point on. So when I say, okay, now I'm about to talk about the annoying as hells, that's Gary and Andy. First of all, this heifer says, I want you to make a list. I said, this is the most remedial couple, okay? This is the most remedial couple. What are y'all making a list for? You guys are not together. You guys have y'all ain't been together. He can't even get it up for you. I don't understand why we're going through this, but she wants Gary to come over to her house. Why? Why do you want him there? Why do you want him to come over? But we find out a little bit later. So Karen and Aaron, Lord Jesus. Karen asked Aaron, so he pops up at the hospital, and she asked him who told him that she was there. Aaron does not tell her. After she asked several times, he was, are you okay? Are you okay? He just completely ignores her question. That makes her upset. She believes that it was Zach that called, or Fatima, one of them. I think she thought it was Fatima who called Aaron. I said, okay. Karen calls Zach. Now, to everyone's dismay, because I know some people was like, the least Aaron could have done was tell Karen. He did tell Karen. He told Karen that it was not Fatima who told him, which I'm thinking, well, who told you? Just, I was trying to find my words. I find it very odd, the things that Tyler makes a big deal. Who the hell told this man that Karen was in the hospital? Who told? Was it his friend doctor? Because if it is, that's a HIPAA violation. You shouldn't be telling Karen business. Who told you? Like, I don't think it's that big of a thing. Just say who told you, but certain things I think Aaron brings upon himself, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But she calls Fatima and Zach, and she calls Fatima a B many times. She tells Zach F you, that was, she tells Fatima that was real low down what you did. I am getting sick and tired of Karen. First of all, let me say this. Whether you like Fatima or not, the one thing I will say is that Fatima has never initiated disrespect towards Karen. She's never done that. It has always been on Karen end, and I think that Fatima, in my book, has been more than just in her responses to Karen and how she has maintained a certain level-headedness because Karen is pregnant. But I think that Karen has showed multiple times why Fatima just need to pop on her shit. Because if it was me, I would have popped on her shit. Karen's mouth is reckless when it comes to Fatima. And my personal opinion is that she talks to Fatima out of a place of hurt. Fatima has never done anything to you. And it's like every time you get an opportunity, regardless of the peace that Fatima shows or the calm that Fatima has shown Karen or the understanding, just being a woman, being in love with the wrong person and didn't work out, it's always drama. It's always unnecessary commotion when it comes to Karen. And it's sickening at this moment. And I really wish Tyler would. It's so unbecoming. It's just very unbecoming. Like, you can't even, like, for me personally, y'all know Karen has been my favorite. I have no favorites. He done jacked up all these characters to me. It's like, but when I watch her, it's like I would beat your ass. I probably would have to go to jail because it's only so much I could take somebody, doing that to me, running their mouth recklessly. Most times I don't care what people say because everybody has an opinion, everybody talk, but the blatant disrespect and the consistent disrespect, everybody has a cap. I don't care how peaceful you are, and I'm a real chill person. Everybody got a cap, and everybody sometimes got to get their ass beat. And if I was Fatima, I don't know if I could wait till Karen drop that baby. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm gonna get off that. So Zach is upset because it was just a mess. It messed up Zach and Fatima's night. So we get back to the hospital and Karen is going off on Zach. Going off on Aaron. She tells him that she does not want him there. He needs to leave. Like, she just doesn't want him around. And I found it so interesting that Karen was overly concerned about the fact that Zach didn't even ask her how she was doing. And in my personal opinion, I'm going to say this when it comes to Zach. I do understand, like I said earlier, that he doesn't know if that baby is his. So maybe he's not trying to be too attached. And I get that. I do. But it's just the fact for me that you've never asked or called her just to see, Karen, I don't want nothing. I just want to see how you doing. When is your appointment? When will you find this out? Zach has shown no interest. Zach blatantly does not care about Karen or this baby. That's just me. And like I said, I understand he doesn't know the paternity, but just a genuine concern he doesn't have. The fact that he knew this woman was in the hospital and that she was bleeding, I'm not expecting him to just get up and run out, but he showed no concern. Even if it was his child, he didn't know if she was having a miscarriage. He didn't know any of that, and he showed no type of concern whether or not that was happening. And so in my mind, I'm like, you overly concerned by the fact that Zach isn't asking you how you're doing, yet you have a man, bone, flesh, and blood in front of your face that is genuinely concerned about you, and you don't give a damn. You're yelling at him. You're being disrespectful. Now, let me say this. If I was Aaron, I would tell Karen to kiss my ass one good time. Okay, that's the toxic side of me coming out. It comes out every now and then. But let me just say this to my fellas, to my brothers. I love y'all. I do. However, let me tell y'all this. You are not a woman's punching bag. You are not a woman's garbage disposal, which means you are not there to hear about all the mess her past lover put her through, past relation, all that negativity. You're not there to be a receptacle of that. And if you are putting forth the effort to get to know someone, if you are putting forth the energy, the time to get to know somebody, to build a foundation, and that woman is not reciprocating that, and she's not showing you the same type of energy that you're showing her, you might just want to walk away. Because that's how I feel about Erin at this point. There is nothing attractive about Karen at this moment in time in Sistas. There is nothing that she has shown, in my personal opinion, in recent episodes that would make, if I was a dude, that would make me interested in her. You hung up on your ex. You're in love with your ex. You told me you don't want this baby to be mine. I'm going to fall back. And I want to see Erin exude that. Like, where is that confidence? Where is that man who knew what he wanted, said what he meant, did what he was supposed to do? That's the Erin I want to see. Erin is so wide open with Karen because he believes she's the one. Well, you better go find you a two, because right now she ain't it. She is not it. And I know we as women, you know what I'm saying, we esteem ourselves as being prizes. And I get that. And as a man, I feel you should see yourself as a prize too. And you don't have to take that type of treatment from any. And I think some men feel like they do. And I know that, and I'm kind of going off on a rant. I know that in the beginning, a lot of fans of Karen's was like, you know, they appreciated the way that Aaron took his time with her. And at one point I did too. Like I understood that, and I did like that about him. But at some point, when that turns into disrespect, and when a person cannot value what you're bringing to the table, it's time to find you a different seat at another table. You know what I'm saying? Let her miss you. Let her miss you. And then I feel like Aaron gonna back up, and then she gonna realize, oh my God, he was the one. I don't think I'm gonna be happy about it, because why can't you see it now? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna just get off that. Brothers, I love y'all. Choose yourselves, bros. Don't be out here with these women who can't appreciate you. And that's all I got to say. Love y'all. But so Lisa tells Aaron that he needs to leave. Look at your blood pressure. You're stressing her out. I said, no, your daughter's stressing out everybody else. She's stressing out Zach. She's stressing out Fatima. She's stressing out Aaron. And I'm not gonna. Nah, she don't get no pass because she's pregnant. Karen is being a true itch the itch, okay? Put the B in front of it. I don't like calling people that, but I'm just saying, if you're exemplifying those traits, that's just what it is. But we get to Zach. Zach goes over, and I'm not in order. Zach goes over to Karen's house. Miss Lisa opens up the door. And a lot of people was like, where is Miss Lisa? She need to come back and get her daughter and talk some sense into her. I saw a lot of fans, preferably Zatima fans, were a little upset with Miss Lisa. And I thought Lisa handled this. I didn't think she handled it well myself. Zach comes over. Now I find it interesting because Zach has called Karen a B so many times during the run of Sistas. And no, I do not believe that Karen should be calling Fatima her name. But I did chuckle, okay? When Miss Lisa, when Zach was like, Karen calling her, I got a lady in my life, I moved on, and Karen calling her all kinds of B's and stuff, like, she can't do that. I need you to talk to her. And so Miss Lisa was like, well, is she a B? I said, well, Lisa, that's not here nor there. You need to get your daughter as far as what you can do. And I think sometimes, just like as Fatima, she feels that Zach should be able to talk to Karen about disrespecting her. And he has on several times. He can't control her. Neither can Miss Lisa control Karen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, you can't control anybody. Karen has to come to a place to where she values herself. And when you don't value yourself, you're not going to value anybody else. And that's just where she is. And speaking of not valuing themselves, I'm going to pause on that and I'm going to get to Andy. So Andy and Gary, I did not understand this scene, okay? I didn't. He comes over there. They have a pointless conversation. They're basically repeating what they've already stated. Gary starts taking off his shirt, unzipping his shirt, unbuttoning his shirt. And Cheeto has a nice body. And I don't mind always looking at it whenever he wants to show it. But as far as him being Gary, Andy was like, Gary, you can leave, you can go. Then they end up having sex. And I was like, what happened? And what's going on here? why is this scene here? I'm not understanding. And the more I watch Sisters, and if you happen to watch Zatima, there's so much progression that happened on that show. And then when you watch Sisters, we going back to this like real slow stuff, and we're seeing these women make the same dumb decisions. Andy's having sex with Gary again. Why? She tells him, I'm going to give you the penthouse. I'm going to give you the car. I'm going to go to the bank. I'm going to turn everything over to you. And then you have sex with him. I'm not understanding. You know that he's controlling. You know all of these things about Gary. You know he's not good for you. And yet you're going to have sex. I just don't see the sex being that, she's never raved that the sex with Gary was amazing. She's never done that. So I'm just like, I don't understand why you with him. I just don't. And I'm trying, when has Gary been able to have sex with Andy? Because he couldn't get it up because she was with Paris. You saw her have sex with Robin in the same spot you in, bruh. I'm just out. Y'all, I was lost. I was like, what is going on here? What is going on? I don't understand it. It was, anyway, we find out that the baby is okay. The nurse tells, Karen that she's going to put her on bed rest. She's going to have to take some time off from work and just rest, get her blood pressure down, and she can't be stressed. And I'm like, okay, we going to see what happens. We going to see what happened with that. I just don't understand. Calvin and Danny comes over because Danny has not heard from Sabrina. They talk just like Karen and Andy talk. She haven't heard from her. So she's getting concerned. She talks to Andy about what Logan told her about Sabrina being investigated about this robbery. So Andy doesn't believe like Sabrina has been arrested, but she did say that per Danny's request that she would check and see if Sabrina has been arrested or what's going on with that. And so I really want to know why these women just consistently pop up at each other's place. Okay, so Danny pops over. She she comes over while Andy is riding Gary on the couch, and I'm like, why? I have never seen this is not it. I have never seen women or friends pop up at each other's houses like these women do, especially when they're in compromising positions. We've seen them walk in on Karen having sex. Danny has walked in on Andy having sex now. Sabrina has come in while Preston has been laid up almost bare ball naked in Danny's bed. They just a little too comfortable for me. I'm not that friend. You would never get not I ain't that intimate with none of my friends. Certain things ain't none of your business, and certain things is not for you to see. That's just what it is. I think that was everything that happened. Danny and Calvin. She went over there to let him know, if he knew where Maurice was. He called Maurice. Maurice's phone kept going to voicemail. He was like, "Are you serious? Okay, I'll let you know if I find anything out." And, because she was concerned, like, is Maurice normally home during this time? And it's just amazing how, when you live with somebody, especially Calvin and Maurice, you're roommates, you tend to know someone's routine. When they normally get home, they normally let you know they're going to be late. So you're not, can, just have a common courtesy or whatever. And, Calvin is just so oblivious. He doesn't know what's going on with anything. Oh, yeah, I don't know. He's only home. Yeah. Y'all, this is only episode 2. And I think everybody got on my nerves this episode. I think everybody got on my nerves this episode because I just, Karen, it's time, Tyler, I know this season has been filmed, but it's just time to see something different. We're seeing the same things happen consistently. Now, I need for somebody to help me out. Because someone told me, because I'm not as a teamer like fan like that, I do watch the show. I don't dig deep into any of their stuff. So somebody told me that on Zatima, Zach and Fatima have been together for 4 months. I don't know where that person got that from, but they did comment that under one of my reviews. However, this is the thing that's tricky. So I don't believe Fatima was wearing an engagement ring on Sistas because we know we're in the same day. Now, cut to when she was at Zach's house, we hear loud music and we find out that it's Deja. So that means Deja is entering the Sistas universe, okay? A lot of fans told me that Zatima, even though they're the characters of Sistas, they're not in the Sistas universe, meaning you're not gonna see none of the characters from Sistas on Zatima. They're in their own little thing, and Fatima and Zach have been together for months, according to Zatima's timeline. That's what I've been told. I don't know if that's true or not. But if that is the case, how is it that Deja is gonna be a part of Sistas and she's already a tenant of Zach's? So by that time, we know that Fatima and Zach are engaged. So I'm trying to understand. That's why I say you got to think too much with this mess, because I'm trying to understand, why isn't Zach and Fatima engaged on Sistas? I don't know, and it just don't make sense to me. I need somebody to help me. If you are that, you know, endowed with information with Sistas and Zatima, I would really like to know that information. If you have it, I really would. But that's all I got to say about this episode. It just same old, same old. And I don't think Sabrina was shown in this episode. I don't remember her being in this episode. Um, and Miss Lisa, I think that I know a lot of people like Miss Lisa. Not that I don't like Miss Lisa. I think Miss Lisa is one of those parents who sometimes think too highly of their children. And I think she thinks that way with Karen. I remember when she was first introduced and she spoke to Aaron. I think she was very disrespectful to Aaron. Like, basically, it's your fault your wife did what she did. Now you got my daughter wrapped up in this. Not your daughter is wrapped up because she wants to be wrapped up. And I do respect the fact that she was like, Karen is on bed rest. She's not dealing with this right now, when she was talking to Zach. But I think Miss Lisa is she could be very condescending in her tones. And it's very evident to me how Karen has become, how she could be viewed as a callous person, because I think her mom is like that. And because I think she was missing the other aspect from her father, you know what I'm saying? She just kind of gravitated to what she was shown with her mom. And that's not an excuse, because Karen, she's a grown ass adult and she can make the decision to be better. And that's what I would love to see, to be better. All these women to be better. I think Danny gonna get caught up with this married man, even though he got a crazy ass wife. I just want to see more from them, but y'all know how it goes. But I've been talking for 27 minutes, and thank you guys for listening. You know what I'm saying? Um, so we're gonna get ready for episode 3 next Wednesday, and I had a lot of conversation about this whole Danny and Preston thing, so I think I'm gonna do an extra or another video pertaining to them and their relationship, and this bomb that Preston dropped by having this woman in his life that nobody knew about. And to me, that just really goes to show his character as a person. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he lived with Danny for a while, and you got another woman wherever he's from, and you're moving on, you're doing these things with Danny as if you're completely available, and we find out that he wasn't. So I'll get to that later. Until next time, y'all have a good one. Y'all be safe out there.